We are deep, deep underground here with my special guest, Don Bolles. What do you have to say, Don?
I have never masturbated.
Absolute true story there. So let's start at the beginning of your music career. Tell us a little bit about how it all started.
Well, it was an accident, really. I was, just playing whatever. I was playing shortwave radio into tape recorders a lot. And I was like a Stockhausen worshipping preteen. And I did a lot of that, and I wanted to be a non-musician, one that didn't know how to play at all, and just sort of like Portsmouth Sinfonia inspired, and Eno a little bit. Eno was the godfather of glambient.
Oh, love Eno. He's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So there was all that, and krautrock too, and then punk rock came along, and probably would have gone right past Phoenix, except for the Consumers and me. I wasn't good enough to be in the Consumers, so I had my friends who played guitar and bass in top 40 bands I was in switch instruments so they could suck the same way I did on the bass. Yeah. So they switched guitar and drums, and it was a good idea. I'll have to play that shit for you sometime. It's pretty yummy. We recorded 2 songs like in our living room that first day that we played together. Just wrote these 2 songs and played them, and they were really good.
So what were some of the bands you were in?
Oh, so our top 40 band had a bunch of names, and it was just this like shyster thing where the school people who had to pick a band, and they didn't know anything. It's like, these guys I guess look okay. I gotta go. But they'd give them a book of all these bands with pictures, and there was all these like blow-dried mustache guys with suits, and so but any band they'd pick, they'd probably get us, and we were terrible. Like the band was like really, the guys were cool guys, but they just had no soul in their playing. It just and I just had to imitate the people on the radio over this really boring like song poem level music, and so they were good musicians, but it just wasn't exciting in rock and roll. So I don't know. But that was our top 40 band, and that's how we made money. That's how I made money to buy the cocaine, which I hated, but that I could use to get the genius guys from K-Dill Radio and the Snake Meat the Meatloaf Cigarettes and Speed Orchestra, so I could get those guys to hang out with me, even though I wasn't a large-breasted girl.
That was
the trick. And I hated coke, and I made good money with my top 40 band, and my mom paid for everything else, basically. In Scottsdale, what do you want?
And I'll tell you what, in the rock and roll scene, that was a good way to get stuff.
Yeah, it's what you had to do.
Different bands I was in, we had managers, and they used the coke to get everything.
I was born in a manager.
Yeah. So what was your entry into punk rock? When did you start really liking punk rock?
I always liked punk rock. Ever since, the word came along, like, who knows, Lester Bangs said, it was in one of those magazines, one of those rock and roll magazines. And I loved the Stooges. I got those albums from the K-Dill library so I started doing shows at KDIL, the local satanic radio station.
That's one of my favorite is Iggy Pop.
So it was like a pirate station. We got all over town because we were on a mountainside, and the whole city of Phoenix is in a valley. So 4 watts got us everywhere. It sounded real until you noticed it was really weird.
Awesome. And then you were summoned to be in the Germs somehow.
I heard.
Tell us a little bit about how that all came about.
Well, so my band, we were playing shows. I was in another band too called the Exterminators, who were really young kids, and Rob Graves had moved to Phoenix from Detroit by that time, and he was playing with our band, and he was playing with the Exterminators too. Their bass player quit, and they didn't have a drummer, so I played drums, Rob played bass, and it was a really good band. You hear that CD now, it's kind of okay. We did, whatever, but it wasn't recorded right. That wasn't my fault. But the Exterminators was a cool band, and the songs were really good, and whatever. There's a tape that survives, maybe 2. live show at this biker bar with people throwing stuff.
And were the Germs out there, or were you out here with the Exterminators?
So what happened was, no, I was in the Exterminators and in my band Crazy Homicide, you know, which was the one Rob was in it playing like rhythm guitar. And, I don't know. It was the one I made the guys switch instruments for, so we'd all suck the same. So,
and that's Crazy Homicide with a K, right?
Yeah. It was the name of a Russian street gang that was made up of like mental defectives and paraplegics and cripples and stuff, and they were apparently very vicious. So, because we called it that. It wasn't, you know, people. I don't know. Nobody ever liked that name that much except me. But before that, we were called the Liars, and how much did that suck?
Yeah, oh yeah, Crazy Homicide is way better.
Way better. It's got more syllables, you know. It's got harder consonants, you know. It's a, you know, a good manly set of words. Something Putin could be proud of.
So, yeah.
So this is just some shortwave radio stuff. If you can hear it, just sort of. Hopefully, it's background information.
Right. Yeah.
But.
And then you met the Germs when you were playing with them?
No, worse than that.
Yeah.
David Wiley, I mean, there were three bands in Phoenix. You know, there was the Consumers, who had 50 songs that were all great. There was my band, Crazy Homicide. We had like 2 songs and some covers and a couple other songs maybe that weren't very good. But you know, we were pretty punk and ridiculous. But and then there was the Exterminators, who were these younger kids from the other side of town. And so, except for me and Rob, we were the old people at like 19 and 20. You know?
Yeah, right.
And so,
yeah, exactly.
That was the oldest people.
That was old in the punk scene. It was, yeah.
It was Phoenix and L.A. were that way. New York, it was like you had to be over 30 to be into punk rock. Pretty much, this is how it was. You know, Deborah Harry. No one even saw her except on the Wind in the Willows album cover until she was 30-something years old. She was 33.
Yeah, and then we were all sneaking out to go to those punk shows.
Oh yeah, well, I wasn't by then. I was the old man of the Germs. So what happened was David Wiley from the Consumers, he and Paul Cutler and a couple other people, we all bought import records anyway, and we had to go to L.A. to get them because you couldn't really order them that easily from Phoenix. And so we'd go to L.A. on record foraging trips, and one day this girl, Debbie Durham, who changed her name to Debbie Dubb, and she moved here, and then she married that Peter Urban guy, the Dills manager. Mm-hmm. Man, that's a brave girl. But he's a nice guy, though. But like Debbie Dubb told David that because I wanted to move to L.A. and Debbie Dubb told David that the Germs were in need of a drummer, and they weren't exactly like musical heavyweights, so I could probably play with them, even though I'd only been playing drums for like a week and a half. And but it was good, you know. It's just like I just broke everything all the time. And
you were aggressive. It's awesome.
It was kind of aggressive, yeah. I tried not to be, but you know, it didn't work.
No, you have to play with.
I heard me trying to be laid back. I was doing a Yoko cover with some people the other day, and I'm still like, you know, it's fucked up.
Oh yeah, you can.
It's in your soul, I just got it. Yeah, I got something really mean that's got to be said with like drums for some reason. Yeah, I just gotta say it. You know, say it with music and it's good. Say it with words and you know you can get slapped.
You're in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that happens so much. It's crazy.
You know, music is supposed to be evil because it's an evil that we can generally live with. You know, it's not going to actually hurt us.
So now we are going to break away to a video with Don Bolles.
I would do that like every day, a couple of times if I could. So really, I don't blame you.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Germs and some of your experiences with the Germs.
Excellent. That sounds like a great time. I hope I can make it.
$3 a bottle. Can you believe this tacky whore?
Just do it there. Do it from the kneeling position. That's more appropriate.
To be king, but you stood in the way. I was never quite king. That just won't let go. Every process you slow to save my soul. All I want is a beer and damage.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah. Yeah, I was noticing that. This is great. Demolecularization is fun. It's a lot more fun than it is to say, actually. But, it's good to be back.
So tell us about the germs.
Well, first of all...
Anal sex is perverted and sick.
Oh, I
and
meant
don't ask me how I know.
Yeah,
and I washed those germs off.
Yeah, I meant
Now,
the band.
Oh, the band? The germs. Yes. Yes, indeed. Well, what happened was Debbie Dub gave David their phone numbers to give to me, and they didn't know how terrible I was at drums, But my intent was good, and it was probably a lot of fun to watch and listen to. But for me, it was just it just hurt. It hurt a lot. Until like 6 months into the germs, it hurt a lot. But Pat and I we would keep playing the songs. Well, anyway, I'll tell you how we got to that though. I knew they needed a drummer, and I was told the whole saga that Nicky Beat was filling in, but the weirdos didn't like that he was doing that, and they wanted him to not do that. And he played on the Lexicon Devil single, which was made after I arrived here. So anyway, I called up Darby and Pat using the telephones that we had, and amazing technology for back then. And I was asking them stuff like, so did you guys heard of Faust? I was certain that they, like my friends in the Consumers and Exterminators, were into like avant-garde noise stuff. Right, yeah. And it just stood to reason. And they're like, what?
What are you doing?
I mean, and I'm like, how about Van de Graaff Generator? Oh, I see that one record in the cutout bin, the thing that looks like lungs with eyeballs in space. So yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. You're right. And I'm like, well, do you like Subway Sect or any of these new weird fucking, crazy sounding? Because, I thought they knew how they sounded. And on that Forming record, which is all I had to go on. And Pat's like, no, I don't know any of that. Well, what do you like? We really like Queen and Yes and David Bowie. And I'm like, really?
Really?
Yeah, I was shocked. Not in a bad way. But I was like, I'll be right there. I'm going to join your band and play drums. I started playing drums recently, but I'll be there.
But you
soon.
knew you could handle it.
And a guy gave me a drum set that was one of my record store friends that I had. My mom actually bought me his collection when he sold it to go join a Buddhist monastery. And he had a drum set that he found in his backyard, and he gave it to me, like sort of. I was supposed to pay him $100 down the line, but I kind of never did. Yeah. But it was that little Sonor kit that I used for the early days of the Germs before I got the big white, Alice Cooper guy looking set.
Right. Yeah. It's a beautiful set.
But yeah, thank you. I just had them done. But I think this Paisley really brings them out. Yeah. But I was getting a check, from the government for when I turned 21. And so I turned 21 the year, like in 77. I turned 21. And so this is 78 by this time. I visited LA and did stuff, but this is the first time I was going to move there, and Rob went with me. We took the drum set. We bought some cymbals on the way because I was rich with the government money, and so I was drunk off my ass and high on speed by the time I got there. You know, doing these whites, and Rob didn't do that, but he was keeping me, sane on the road, so I didn't kill everyone. And but we got here and we went to the Masque benefit and saw the Germs and all the other bands, and all the bands heard about a drummer that was coming from Phoenix to join the Germs, and they assumed that it was a good drummer, like a real rock drummer, and they all needed a drummer. No one wanted to play drums because it was punk rock. You could play guitar or sing, even if you didn't know how to do anything, and not like the old days. So they all asked me, like in the elevator, I got cornered by like 4 or 5 people, like the Robbie Poshboy and Dim Wanker from F Word and Craig Lee and Alice from the Bags and some other fucking people too. And it's just like crazy. And they're saying, you got to play drums for us. The Germs are a joke, They have nothing. We have management, label interest. And I'm like, I don't want to do. That's not what I'm doing this for. I don't want to do that. I don't want those things.
Yeah, you want to do something you love.
I wanted to play with the Germs. I came here specifically to play with the Germs, and that's what I'm fixing to do, and that's what I did, and I'm glad I did too. Nicky kind of, I don't know. It seems like he was kicking himself for a minute because the Germs were riding high in the mid 2000s. We were like the blues cats were to the 60s English people.
Yeah.
Like, look, here's my good friend Muddy Waters. Give him 5 beers. Take him around to the pubs and they, and the punk rockers from LA and in the early days were treated like that by the new crop of Hot Topic punk rockers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty swell time to be an old punk rocker, and I was like, this is how the blues cats felt.
Oh yeah, and it lasted for quite a few years. It was not a short time. Right.
And still, I could still go to fucking any weird place on Earth, and someone's going to recognize that I'm the guy from the Germs one way or another. If I'd have to fucking tell them repeatedly in their language, they'll buy me a beer or something, and they'll be like, hey, cool, I really like that GI album, it's like, the shutdown was annoying. I'd take it off before, and so did we.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good sounding album. A good engineer, Pat Burnett, and Joan Jett, she was so anyway, I joined the Germs, but I haven't played with them yet because they live in West LA for the most part, and they all ended up kind of at the Canterbury, at least half of them. Lorna got a place at the Canterbury with Belinda and on the 4th floor, and I was on the 3rd floor in my own place. Buzzy Murder from the Exterminators, who was 16, the guitar player, moved here with me, but then Linda Bombblast, this kind of manly girl, raped him in the Masque when it was a rehearsal space in the daytime when he went there once to hang out. And he came back and looking like he'd just been in a fucking war and lost badly. And I was like, dude, what happened? I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
And it came out that this Linda Bombblast girl did something untoward with this poor boy. And he went back to Phoenix immediately on a Greyhound, and he had to get on lithium, and he started like putting red and black magic marker all over his face and drawing mustaches and things, and wearing a cape, and then breaking into the beer cooler at a 7-Eleven, saying, I am Count Dracula, I need these beers.
Oh, no.
And the guy's like, fuck, call the cops, But he went to a mental institute. Anyway, so
That's too bad,
so I moved here, and I didn't get to really try out for him for a long time. And I gotta say, as entertaining as that scene might be to somebody who isn't me to watch, then I think I gotta tell you that it's completely, of course, wrong. It's from a movie, for one thing. It's from that movie, for another thing. And they took some liberties, but whatever. The Germs took liberties with music and stuff. Other people's possessions, whatever, But yeah, so I watched Nicky play on the Lexicon Devil EP because I wasn't ready yet, and we hadn't gotten to practice. But I did do the audition in the Masque bathroom in this much like urine and water and what.
Oh no, yeah, that was lovely, wasn't it?
That was true. Bill Bartell worked on that movie, and he was in charge of all the T-shirts and the minutiae of like what I wore and a couple other people, to be correct. But it didn't look the same on that guy.
Yeah,
he had a completely different body type than me and different face. Yeah, he was just like me except his an Evo Phillips thing. Yeah, he was just like me except a different head on a different body.
And then I think they moved the bathroom from the Masque over to the Café des Grands.
Oh,
I
God.
think they just moved it over there, just a few
Yeah.
blocks over.
Oh yeah, it worked just as well there too. But yeah, you know, I was a germ. I was doing non-deuce, clap, you know, with everybody. And it was funny because Geza and Pat were both I thought you brought the amp. No, I thought you were going to bring the amp. Oh shit! And then they went straight in the board with Pat's guitar. Well, it wasn't even his guitar. It was actually Darby's guitar.
Oh, nice.
That
Okay.
Rickenbacker with the guts always falling out of it.
So speaking of that, let's break away to a video. This is you playing Reuben's Train with Pat Smear's guitar.
Huh. Well,
And then you could tell us a little bit
wait a
about
minute.
the
This
guitar.
isn't like some kind of weird sex game, is it? Reuben's
no.
Train. I mean, I had a friend that tried to get me to play Fort with him. And I'm
Oh,
like,
nice,
How
yeah.
do you play Fort? I don't think I know that game. And he goes, well, you try to break into the guy that's in the fort. You try to break into the fort. And I'm like, I guess that sounds okay. I don't know. We were like 14.
Right,
It
yeah,
doesn't
oh, yeah,
sound like
yeah.
a game teenagers played. You know? And so the fort was blankets. And to break into the fort, I had to lift the blankets. This was
Yeah.
his instructions.
Yeah, it was really-
And there was his private areas completely bona fide, and I was just like, oh, Fort, right. I don't think I want to play Fort,
Right,
Claude.
I'm not breaking in.
So yeah, but anyway, here's this video.
Reuben's Train, y'all. Last night
So tell us about Pat Smear's guitar. He's one of my favorite guitar players, so
Well,
I'd love to hear about him as well.
This wasn't Pat Smear's guitar that we were talking about that he played on Lexicon Devil. He always played Darby's guitar. It was a black Rickenbacker with the guts falling out. And then he had that pedal, that like Selmer or something pedal that was always falling apart too. Thank Jehovah for that, because I was kind of asthmatic. I could not have got through a Germs set if it wasn't for Pat having to tune for 4 minutes in between every minute and a half long song.
Of the song, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just, that's the only way I got through all those Germ sets. I would have been like, they had to bring the fucking oxygen. It was harsh. I played all wrong, so,
So what was it like playing with Pat?
Oh, it was great. Like, he'd be like, that was pretty good, because when I got the rehearsal tape from them with Nikki and Cliffhanger, I had different tapes, and I listened, it was like, Let's Pretend was like down dun gun down dun gun dun gun dun gun dun 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 gun dun dun gun, and it was a totally different band. It was like that weird mid-period that maybe luckily isn't very documented, because it seemed like it just went from the fucking Shags to the Suite, to the Evil Suite with the fucking crazy guy on vocals. And dude, I love that rockin' lead. That's the shit. So he would say, that was really good, but can you play it faster? And I'm like, yeah. Can you? He's like, yeah. And we all knew Lorna would just do whatever, as best she could. And she got really good after a while. It was the only band she ever played with. But, and so I'd play it faster, then he'd play it faster, then I'd play it. And the things just got insanely fast. By the time we played any shows, those songs were just like, on frappe, It was pretty hardcore, I guess you would say.
And yeah,
except we didn't use the forbidden oompa beat. Oompa, oompa, oompa.
Oh, right.
It's like country line dancing. Come on.
And you had the...
Except they had to color outside the lines because they were too drunken and stupid.
And then the wusses now, they need a double kick pedal.
We were drunk and stupid.
You were doing
too,
it on
different.
a single kick pedal.
It's all single kick. I need a double kick to do that shit now too sometimes. But I can still do it on single kick. Once you figure out how to do something, you can usually just sort of do it.
And you make it move, right? Make it...
Yeah, I got... Playing with... Ariel Pink really cured me of my horrible tempo problems. Like, if any of you ever make the mistake of listening to the 45 Grave album, it's full of tempo irregularities from me, because our manager was stupping my girlfriend. I had this beautiful, like, young teenage girlfriend, and we were junkies, and we were living in my van. It was not the best life right then, but we were living in my van in the Capitol Records parking lot, so it wasn't that bad. It's kind of glamorous in a way. But then Rick Van Sant came and got her, took her back to his house, gave her Quaaludes, and like fucking had his way with her for like a week. I was just like, Jesus. And I'm trying to play my drum parts, and I'm just like, manager, fucking girlfriend, this sucks, fuck this.
Oh no.
And it wasn't even in rhythmic time, what I was saying to myself. So yeah, I was really all over the place. Some of the songs were way too fast. Some parts of the songs were way too fast. Some too slow. But anyway, playing with Ariel, it's like everyone in that band is a better drummer than I was. When I started doing that a few years ago, I'm like, damn, this is amazing. All these guys can teach me all these things, and so I learned a lot. And now I don't even usually need a click track or anything. People, session work. Hey, I play some all different styles, except the oompa beat that's forbidden.
So both of those bands did a lot of playing in L.A. and Hollywood. What were some of your favorite clubs that you played at?
Well, the Germs, that was like the biggest band in town. I don't know, who knows why. Everything just aligned in this way. And I knew there was something special about them. And that's why I didn't variate from the plan. And it was just this crazy life all of a sudden, like all these great shows and all these people, all these girls everywhere, And I met Dinah Cancer and stuff right around then. And I smoked some PCP, and I called her on the number she gave me, and she answered, which was a mistake. And this is like the day after I met her. And I just said the word, I'd smoked PCP right before this. Did I say that? Yeah, I think I did. I think it's, jumbled my brain cells. So sometimes I do that. So sometimes I do that. Anyway, Dinah Cancer answers the phone, and I just said, Behead! 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 You know, Behead! And for 2 hours, I was on the phone with her, like intoning some weird variation every couple of seconds of Behead. And she sat there and just listened and just, This is very pleasant.
And then she said, I want him in my band.
She was like 17, a Girl Scout, and a virgin. I didn't know. But she was really a weirdo. She loved like weird stuff, like the kids at the Indian high school. She loved Kiss. And she had tapes of Rodney's show that were really great.
Oh, yeah,
and the Hollywood Night Shift. And she had tapes of the Young Marquis and Stanley, which was hilarious. Apparently that guy, according to Freddie Snakeskin, smelled worse than any other human being he had ever encountered.
Yeah. There was a few of those people walking around in the scene.
Yeah. But this guy wasn't even in any scene. He just went to K-Rock and went home and did more meth and then went to K-Rock again, you know.
Nice.
But seek it out if you can, the Young Marquis and Stanley, if you don't remember it.
Okay, yeah.
So I was in the Germs, and it was great. And then, you know, Darby, I don't know, things got weird because Darby had this boy that he was trying to impress, Ricky, you know, he was trying for Donnie Rose, but Donnie Rose was just straight, and he would do the things that Darby wanted him to, but he wasn't into it. And, you know, so, Rob Hanley, that was the guy's name. So Rob Hanley was his next love, and he was really trying for that. And this was like way past the days of, I mean, I wrote a fucking book about the guy. He's pretty special, you know. He sounds like a dork when I talk about him in this stage of the things, because, you know, he kind of was by then, a lot of the times. And so I was making out with Amber, for fuck's sake. But she's a wonderful girl, but damn, that was really harsh to see that.
Right, yeah.
And it was kind of scary. It's like, man, there, but for the grace of every fucking thing in the universe go I. You know? But I would never go there. I would die. No, I liked Amber just fine, but making out was not in the plan. So I'm sure it wasn't with Darby either, considering how he was totally homosexual.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and she was a girl by some definitions of that word. She definitely was not a guy. But yeah, that was a weird thing. And so he wanted to get his boyfriend in the band, Rob Hanley, and Amber bought him a drum set with, you know, because she had money, and she would buy Darby his heroin so he didn't have to go cop random heroin off the street. But, you know, yeah, that was really helping him, Amber, you know, giving him heroin every day. He became, instead of acid genius Darby, he became sort of heroin booze guy Darby, and it was just not the same. And he threw me out of the band so he could get Rob Hanley in it, and then he went off to England and saw Adam Ant and was like, and got the mohawk.
Oh yeah, now that's where
I was like, fuck, Bowie's over, I guess, and this guy, oh my god, I love him. You know, he was like,
he was pretty cool.
He was pretty amazing. We played it the other night on the show on Wired Up. We played Deutsche Girls, the version for the soundtrack. That's
I love that singles album. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. So what happens was, you know, Darby does that, and then, you know, like, they didn't do any shows. Rob Hanley showed up to practice. He tried to play. He couldn't. It was obvious. Lorna said, fuck this. After playing with Don, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. Because, I mean, I just fit with the band, and it worked. Darby wasn't really thinking straight about stuff at that time. And so then when a good brain like that goes off the rails, you know, a little bit, it can be kind of weird. And so, because we never really had any problems with each other, you know, before. But, I mean, he thought, you know, a lot of the stuff I liked was hippie art noise. And that's kind of true, but not like, you know, they did have long hair, most of those people, you know. But, yeah, and so I got kicked out of the band. But then Pat called and said, well, Darby wanted me to call you. Of course, he's not going to call himself, you know. And and see if you wanted to do a show with us at the Starwood as the Germs. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, because that was really fun playing the, you know, once I got the hang of playing that stuff and playing with those guys, it was just like, it was a dream, you know. And so we did this show. It was really good. I mean, I guess some of the stuff was a little fast and sounded sort of French or Japanese or something, you know. But it was still, it was pretty ass kicking. And my sound guy friend did the sound. Paul Cutler was there and recorded it, or it went the other. I don't remember. Cutler might have done the sound. Lee Rickmer's my friend, who just died recently, unfortunately, but he recorded it, and that was the tape, you know, that came out as that show, the Starwood show.
Oh, yeah, it's the Starwood, yeah.
Yeah. He was my friend from Phoenix. He was like the Fonz of my youth. You know, he was trying to give me detwerping lessons, you know, and show me how to pick up girls. And I was like, "Garf."
So did you ever learn?
I learned what I needed to know. I mean, I was friends with a lot of girls. I always heard all the dirt, you know, about these guys. I mean, of course, they went out with the guy with the pimples and the pockmarks and that's in jail a lot and doesn't know how to read, and he's in like fucking 8th grade for the 3rd time, you know. But of course, the girls like that guy, and I would hear everything about it because I was the friend zone guy.
Right, you're the friend.
And I was, you know, I was like one of the girls, and it was fun. It's like I liked playing with the girls better anyway. They were like smarter for the most part, and they you know, they wouldn't try to beat me up ever.
Right.
You know, and some of them were cute, and I liked girls, you know, so it's always been a curse for them, and sometimes for me. But yeah, so I don't know. It was weird times, But Darby, you know, he was a genius. Read my book, Lexicon Devil: The Short Life and Fast Times of Darby Crash and the Germs, by Don Bolles. It should be the first author, and instead it was like Parfrey and Brendan, like sort of like conspired to be first and second author, and I'm just like relegated down here. I did like so much of that book, like almost all of it, the parts that are good.
Well, you were right there, so
yeah. But also, you know, I wrote for the LA Weekly for 20 years, so I learned a thing or two. And I used to do my own tape transcription, and I would just make everyone sound like the person, because I knew the people, and so I could make it sound like them. You know?
You were always out and about. I would run into you so many different places in Hollywood and LA.
That was a good little book, that Lexicon Devil. It's like, it took me like 5 years to write and 6 hours to read.
Yeah, no, that's how it is, right?
Yeah, but it's good.
It takes forever, right?
You know, it's good. It's right up there with Please Kill Me or No One Here Gets Out Alive, except it's like a pamphlet compared to what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like No One Here Gets Out Alive, you know, that level. But no, hard to get people to talk about the Germs, especially people that knew stuff.
Right, yeah.
So anyway, there was a weird twisted loyalty that was weird. Yeah, it was weird though. But yeah, it was like nothing else. And Darby said, "You know, I'm only doing this show so I can get enough money to buy enough heroin to kill myself, right?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, Darby, we've heard this before. Right. Now let's do that. Let's do that new one, My Tunnel, again. You know, and
we got this.
And I thought we were going to get back together. So did Pat, and we were going to do shows. Things were going to be like they were. Blah blah blah. You know, that kind of TV movie. That's a better TV movie than the one they made. But you know, and it was like." Then he gets the money, goes and buys the fentanyl, which is what it was back then. We each had our different French connection. We had different heroin crowds. Anyway, Darby went to this guy Fabrice, who I presume is dead or gone or something, or at least out of the business. And his dope was fentanyl, and I would see people that never fucking OD on this shit, and I was like, don't get.
That's crazy, and it's happening a lot now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know. It is crazy. Like what? I don't know. There's some porn girl just OD'd on fentanyl. They didn't even say she was hooked on narcotics. They said fentanyl.
Yeah. Man,
that's harsh when you're up there. It's like, I guess heroin was used to get people off morphine. You know, at first.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird.
And I think a lot of people don't know what they're doing with it, right? So
that's half the fun. It's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's like the things you know the least about, you think you know the most about. Yeah. Because you don't know that you don't know. You know? And it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I have some friends that are sober now and straight, and they tell me about how great they were at taking drugs early on. I was great at it.
I could have been better. I didn't have the dedication that some of my friends, R.I.P., did, you know. But, you know, I liked the acid a lot, you know. You just couldn't do it all the time and play drums and these bands with structured things. But anyway, so Darby's dead, no more Germs. The Germs was the biggest band in Hollywood, and in some other places we were legendary. And then it was just gone.
Amazing.
And Darby Crash was an icon. You know, it was amazing. He built that legend. He did that whole thing.
To this day, I think he probably the most recognizable.
He did that.
Punk rock
he
star,
did it on purpose, and it was nothing to him. You know, it was just he could talk to cops on heroic doses of acid. You know, and they bend them to his will. It was crazy. But anyway, so there's a huge void in the LA scene, and I was booking the band at that time because it was new. We were just jamming in the garage, and we had Vox Pop going, but we didn't want to make money with that. We just wanted to play gigs where we were all high on pills and drunken and on speed and and out of our minds on weed too, just and psychedelics. Vox Pop was a crazy band, but we just made a bunch of noise, did Faust covers and Velvet Underground covers. We were a cover band in a lot of ways, but the songs sounded nothing like the originals.
Right,
usually.
yeah.
But Vox Pop was a good band. A lot of people think it was the best band. I don't know if I would agree, but it was really unique. Even though we tried to be just the same, it didn't work.
Right, and then one of the bands...
45 Grave was our pop band. That's what we considered it. And then, because Mary, I don't know if you've seen the pictures or knew her back then, but damn, she was beautiful. She still is pretty good looking. She's a good girl. It's like good Hungarian stock. They weren't going to let me go out with her because they found out my last name was Gersetti, which is Italian. And they were like racist against Italians.
Oh, no.
It was weird. So yeah, but 45 Grave filled this void. It's like we had a set that we'd been practicing for like 6 months, and we practiced it till we were so good, and we never had to take a break. We just did all these crazy songs that were like a 1.5 minute prog pop opus that's punk as fuck.
Yeah, it was so tight.
Yeah. Those guys were my dream band. Rob Graves on bass, the best bass player. Paul Cutler on guitar, easily one of the best guitar players ever. Awesome. He's like a Weigar, but with like crazy noise and echo and shit. And Fred Frith, and then he would like be naked and he'd be crazy and still play great. And it was so good. Yeah, Paul Cutler, what a great guy. I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah.
The Seds tape is out on some label. The cassette's been reissued. Yeah, it's me and Paul and Dinah Cancer and his friend Mark Vassar, and we did it in his utility room in Phoenix. Because Mary and I wanted him to come out and be in our band. Yeah. We were trying to put together a band like 45 Grave, We would come out in her aunt's car and woo him with we'd take him out to dinner and stuff, and we'd make noise music with him and record it and have, it was great. And so he finally moved in to my van in the driveway of Margie's, nice. Aunt Margie's place. The Ants of Surrealism, because they played music with us once accidentally.
So one of the bands I played with, shows with that you played in was Celebrity Skin.
Yeah, that was so much
fun. That was
there are those who say every one of these bands was the best band I was ever in, and I love that that's so.
Yeah, I played in so many different clubs in Hollywood and LA with that band, and I was playing with Easter and playing in a couple other bands. It was fun. Wow. So much fun.
Yeah, the Celebrity Skin, man, that was a whole universe, And I was sober that whole time. I was sober for 11 years, twice. There was the first 11, and then when I was in 6th, 7th grade, I started doing drugs, and then I quit when I was like 30, and then I had a sip of wine, red wine, at a Thanksgiving dinner with my girlfriend, and when I was 41. That was it. I started being soberdelic. I did shit tons of psychedelics like 5-MeO and things like that. We're just all the research chemicals were easily available online, no problem. And so there was that. But then I kind of got into some other things that weren't as good, but not narcotics. I was pretty much done with that. But anyway, yeah, crazy stuff. So let's break away and show you a video of Celebrity Skin. Celebrity Skin, and kick-ass band. I wish you could have been there. Right.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, so with all this talk of Hollywood, I just, in LA, I just recorded a record with Paul Roessler.
Oh, nice.
And I wrote a song about Hollywood, about 80s and 90s in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So,
weird time that can only be evoked through weird artistic means, and you can't really explain it in regular words
Right,
and
yes,
on
right.
paper or something. I had to be there.
so let's break away and we'll play the song. It's called Hanging Out in Hollywood.
We will play the song. See, oh, it's really great.
I would like to thank Paul Roessler at Kitten Robot Studios for recording this song for me.
All right.
This song here is called Hanging in Hollywood.
You can
I
go
like
ahead.
the glasses.
You can
I
go
like
ahead
the
and thank him.
glasses. Yes.
I know you'd really liked it, so you should.
We're hanging out in Hollywood. The scene is cool and underground. At 10 o'clock we get our start. By midnight we play our part. We're like vampires, we come out at night. The zombie zoo is in our sight. Death rock punks and the tragically hip. You know I never get sick of it. Our late night friends, they will unite. All find a club that's so right. Johnny and the Dingbats, they will play. They'll play the scream or the lingerie. We're like vampires, we come out at night. The zombie zoo is in our sight. Death rock punks and the tragically ill. You know we never get sick of it. Did it? It's getting dark. Now we wake. Sunset Gower, Hell's Gate, zombie sluts from hell. They'll be next. No one ever knows their sex. We're like vampires, we go out at night. Release the bats is in our sight. Death rock punks and tragically hip. You know we never get sick of it. We're like vampires, we come out at night. The zombie zoo is in our fight. Death rock punks and strictly hip. Remember, I never get sick of it.
Ooba dooba doodle, ho ho ho.
Ooba dooba dooba doodle, ho ho ho. Hi, hi. Let's play up and down, up and down.
We go up, 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 up. Down, 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 down.
Up, 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 up. Down, 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 down. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Toot, 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 toot.
Toot, 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 toot.
Toodle doodle, toodle doodle.
Toodle doodle doodle doodle. Toodle doodle toodle doodle doo doo doo.
Toodle doodle, toodle doodle doo doo doo.
Look, baby, bounce the ball, bounce the ball.
Clap hands, patty cake.
Hear the noise, baby, hear the noise. Oh, funny noise.
Ka 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 ka.
Da 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 da. Ho 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 ho. Ho hum. Ho hum.
Sleepy bye, sleepy bye.
Okay, so let's get to the most important thing that's going on. What you're doing now.
Well, I do a few things. I mean, I guess if we had to count all the things I'm doing now, we'd be very surprised at how many activities that would encompass just right now in this moment.
It's amazing. I see how
a lot of
busy you are
unconscious
all the time.
processes, you know, like breathing and all that stupid stuff. But anyway, one of the things I do is radio shows. Maybe that's two of the things I do are radio shows. And someday I'll learn how to speak correctly like a real air personality, but that'll be when I'm on the actual air. This is through the internet, through the ether. Yeah. And it's on WFMU.org, and you go to the Sheena's Jungle Room channel. There's 4 channels of WFMU things, and that's the one to go to. It's not easy to forget. Sheena's Jungle Room. But I'm on 2 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays with the Fantastic World of Kitten Sparkles show. And that's a 3-hour tour of, the weird cosmic infinity and Christian children's, Christian ventriloquism records and such.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you got that nickname, Kitten Sparkles?
Well, it's not very exciting. It's a name that I used on that thing that we were listening to underneath the talking and stuff earlier, the shortwave radio tracks. That was Kitten Sparkles, and that was actually that CD is called The Fantastic World of Kitten Sparkles, like a radio show.
Perfect, yeah.
But so the radio show is 3 hours of me doing whatever, and it's usually really psychedelic and fucked up, and and then
it's out there.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like weird, music concrete and echo and outer space, and you're just fucking gone. And then other times it's weird song poem things and fucked up children's records, that make you groan and cry, So, but I also have another radio show on Saturdays at 12 noon Pacific time, and that's called Wired Up. And I do that show with Noah Wallace, who is the king of glam. Not only does he have a great glam band right now that I'm lucky enough to sing with, he's the lead singer and the main writer of Hammered Satin. and man, really at the top of his game with this stuff. I have like 2 shelves, full of glam and bubblegum 7 inches, which is a lot.
Yeah, it's
I have way more than most people, but Noah has literally 10 times more of these records than I do. It's just insane how many, and he knows so much about them, so it's great. I'm kind of the color commentator, and
so he's your
and
mentor,
I pick a lot of the hits.
right?
He turned me on to some of this stuff. Actually, someone that turned me on to this stuff got turned on to it by him. So, he was collecting these records in the 90s, in the early 90s. Now they're a little bit expensive. But
they're really expensive.
Not as much as like Psych or Private Press Punk or things like that. So glam is still a pretty cheap genre, and bubblegum, fuck, that's really cheap. It's all good.
Yes,
not all, but most. There's a lot of good stuff, just an insane amount. But Noah and I just play nonstop junk shop glam and bubblegum 45s on this here setup right here at Electric Ladies Room Studios in the heart of somewhere near Vernon.
So for the last year, I spent a lot of time watching your live show.
Yeah,
you're doing live shows from here.
I had to do something because when the pandemic hit and the lockdown happened, it was so fast. And suddenly all my gigs were canceled. I had 3 clubs actually. And we were going to go to South by Southwest with Hammer Satin and do all this crazy stuff. We were headlining all the Burger Boogaloo, and that's kind of gone too. And just all these festivals. We were not headlining, but we were playing the main stage for the first time. We were really excited. And then the lockdown. And then I'm like broke. And actually, the way that one of the things that WFMU, an employee that we don't get paid, a volunteer at WFMU did was to say, look, if you'll get good internet, so you can do a radio show from your place, because I started building this little studio. She said, I will get you maximum unemployment, and I'll help you fill out the things the right way, and you can get what you deserve.
What you need.
I go, okay, I'll do that. So, so that's what happened. They'd been wanting me to do a show for so long, and I was just putting it off. But anyway, that didn't help me in the lockdown. The lockdown happens, and I'm like, what do I do? My other turntable was in storage, so I never used it because they had turntables at the bars I DJ'd at. So I said, got to get out the other turntable. So I got some new cartridges, and I cranked up my turntables, and I just danced like a lunatic, kind of.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it must have looked ridiculous, but I just never watched it, luckily, so it's fine. But I enjoyed playing these records for people, and a lot of people really liked it. But I got in there fast with these Facebook Live things. Just my iPhone, was recording it, and I was in there in March, and I was one of the only people doing that, and then. After a couple of months, the money, I got $800 in tips the first weekend.
Right, yeah.
And it was like, holy shit, this
nice,
is the right thing to do and a tasty way to do it. And
you're having fun doing it, right?
I had a blast, So that really helped. And then I did get a lot of decent unemployment money. And then I, had this studio going. I got my cassette machine fixed. I bought these things, the mini disc thing.
Yeah, the mini disc, yeah.
I got this thing that shuts the room monitors off when I turn the mics on. So, it's legit. It's a real radio studio. It's better than Dub Lab,
So give us a little sample of how the show went.
I could give you a little sample of the Kitten Sparkles thing, too, in a minute. I'll see what I can do about that while I'm showing you some of these here records. But this is what we call junk shop glam, in case you're, on an island somewhere that has no internet. But it's a fairly collectible and sought-after genre because it's the first time that this stuff's gotten here ever. And it's stuff that sounds like the Sweet, Gary Glitter, T-Rex, Slade, but isn't those things. And so we're not sick of it. Do you ever want to hear Ballroom Blitz again? Great as it is? No. So we got a bunch of things that are kind of like that. So anyway, here you go. I'm going to play a couple of my favorites. These are so dumb. And I think you'll see the similarities to punk rock. All the smart people did dumb, and all the smart people that I knew, the really smart people, did the dumbest, most, completely brain dead punk rock, and it was genius. But anyway, here's some stuff. This is Bubbles with this is where the hurdy-gurdy, heebie-jeebie, greeny, meanie man came in.
So I tossed and turned. The glisten in her eyes, just a rose in her wine. This is where the hurdy-gurdy, heebie-jeebie, creamy man came in.
He just has to explain that to you. That's why glam ruled.
So I tossed and turned in my sleep as she tumbled and she
So good.
tumbled out of my dreams. Everything ceased in a flash of light as the rhythm of the rain got to my brain. This is where the hurdy-gurdy, heebie-jeebie, creamy man came in. This is where the hurdy-gurdy, heebie-jeebie, creamy man came in. This is where the hurdy-gurdy, heebie-jeebie, creamy man came in.
I mean,
This is where the hurdy-gurdy, heebie-jeebie, creamy man came in. This is where the hurdy-gurdy,
yeah.
heebie-jeebie, creamy man came in.
I could rest my case right there.
Yes.
But wait, there's more.
This is where the hurdy-gurdy, heebie-jeebie, creamy Rock me sha-la-la, come on, rock me sha-la-la. Rock me sha-la-la, come on, rock me sha-la-la. Rock me with your boogie music. Yeah. Rock me sha-la-la, come on, rock me sha-la-la. Rock me sha-la-la, come on, rock me sha-la-la. Rock me with your boogie music. Yeah. All clothes are glittering, 'cause they're sold out at the private show. See the glamour girls dancing down the
So good, right?
So good, yeah.
stars that are dancing and dancing. Rock me sha-la-la, come on, rock me sha-la-la. Rock me sha-la-la, come on, rock me sha-la-la. Rock me with your boogie music. Yeah. Rock me sha-la-la,
Another cool one, guys.
rock me sha-la-la. Rock me sha-la-la, come on, rock me sha-la-la. Rock me with your boogie music. Yeah. Well, I must be the
Instrumental, that's not the one we want. That's good. And it just goes this way forever, you know, until you run up screaming and take it off.
Hey, hey, vois-tu là-bas, sur son cigare? Hey, hey, vois-tu ce que je vois? Le beau tétard, plus clinquant qu'une machine à sous. Blouson plastique, casqué, ganté, des yeux de loup. Ce garçon fétide, d'un
so good, right?
Yeah.
Let's say switchboard.
Vois-tu là-bas, sur son cigare? Hey, hey, vois-tu ce que je vois? Le beau tétard. On dit qu'il ne drague que sa moto.
This is
Tant
switchboard.
pis pour nous.
There it is, yeah.
On planait. Un peu
Stick with the girl thing for a
contre
second.
une fille. On avait notre
And end up
chance.
with a guy thing.
Contre sa machine, c'est bien sûr perdu d'avance. Il est super. Il a du peps à côté star. Il est extra. Super extra.
And then another great part.
Le bon tétard. Il est super sur son cigare. Le bon tétard. Il a du peps à côté
I
star.
want to be that guitar player.
Yeah.
Le bon tétard. Il est super sur son cigare. Le bon tétard. Il a du peps à côté star. Le bon tétard. Il est super sur son cigare.
And then the little part has another part in it. Here's one I played. The Jet Fighter's good, so is Aggie. Don't even have to play the whole thing. I love that this is just good old Michael Quercio.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, yeah. This is totally psychedelic. This is an actual psychedelic track. Look at it. Look at it. Sounds so good, right? JBL studio monitors. Good speakers. The Aggie.
That's right.
That's kind of like what Michael Quercio was going for in a way, but I mean, he hit something just as good with that fucking Jet Fighter song. That's nowhere near glam. Anything, it's even a little like late for what we do, but you know what? It's great.
It's the punk rock of glam.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of psychedelic. There was a glam thing too, probably because Danny Benier, had most recently played drums with The Click, and then he was playing drums on that. So
sweet.
That was a great band. The 3 o'clock was really killer for a minute, and the Salvation Army, that was a groovy scene. You could do a whole 5 shows on the Paisley Underground scene.
So you are also still playing live music. So
Yeah.
tell us about the Fancy Space People.
Well, we play live music because we haven't died yet. You see.
It is a fun band.
It sure is, you know, and I'm glad you appreciate it. We're still working on the album. It's probably taken longer than most people's entire careers.
to record the album?
Yeah, we started it in like 2007.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. You know, it better be the best sounding record ever.
It's going to be a
when it comes
masterpiece,
out. It
right?
better
With all
be.
that time.
Oh, if it's not, you know, there's going to be a lot of, you know, you're going to find me auto asphyxiation death. No, I would never do that. I think that's a hitman thing. I think that's like a particularly mean person that hired a hitman and said, make it look like he died hanging himself while he's jacking off. That'll make the punk look really fucking stupid. Oh, yes, sir. We'll do this just the way you want, sir.
So I think this will be a good time to wrap up the show.
Oh, yes.
I think
Let's do that.
good way to end the show will be to actually show the Fancy Space People's video.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
And
wait, we have a video?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, yeah, I would
found
like
it on YouTube. I found it on the YouTube.
I would really like to I mean, I think the Fancy Space People theme is probably the best song for the entrance, but that video is pretty good. Nora made that.
So we would like to thank you all for coming out to
Is that
watch
the Pyramids?
Chad's Underground
Is that the
Scene.
Pyramids one?
Yeah.
Pyramids shoot golden rings. Yeah,
Right,
that's all Nora. It's amazing.
And
She's a singer.
remember, it all starts in the underground.
Wait, what's Remember? I forget.
It all starts with the underground.
Is that 1 Corinthians chapter 4?
Yes,
Okay,
chapter
I thought
7.
so. I thought it was mixed up a little bit. I thought it was 2 Corinthians.
Now, enjoy the video. Fancy Space People. hope you enjoyed part 2 of Chad's underground scene. Remember, it all starts in the underground.
Starts going all on fire after a while, because I'm doing all this stuff I'm really not supposed to do. I kind of pushed this thing to 11. The world at that time was like a Captain and Tennille Peter Frampton nightmare. You know, it was just terrible. All the like this whole world of suck. I don't know if you've ever seen Carnival of Souls, but I would recommend that you drop some acid and do so immediately. Oh, look, the rats have been enjoying the apple. I have a lot of Christian ventriloquism records that I tend to favor. You know, real music. I'm a weird guy, and so it's like I hang out with weird people. You may have met my associate, Richard Polysorbate. You know, he's a professional weirdo.
Exorcisms, seances, levitation, people exploding, coming back together. Weird animals would come out of the electrical sockets. I mean, they would just kind of pour out like liquid. And they were always like black, white, or purple. It was just incredible. That one kind of came out good by accident. It started to crack and fall apart.
The punk just started forming because people wanted it to. People needed it. I mean, Alice Cooper was cool, but then but Styx. And the only thing to do was punk. The only smart thing to do was to be completely retarded. Fucking, what is this? Oh, Francois Bale, okay. Oh, God. And then Darby was like a fucking teenage acid shaman. He was the most amazing person that any of us knew. He was a genius. And everything he did was brilliant. That's how the Germs started. There's an honesty in chaos that's not really present in overly organized systems. Then there was like the Joneses and all that stuff started happening. The MC5, the Stooges, Velvet Underground, all that stuff was pretty punk. And then the Runaways happened. And I loved the Go-Go's. They couldn't play those songs very well, but man, they were writing some pretty good songs. One time Billy Idol got on stage with us, and he's like, "Could you guys know LA Woman?" And basically, we just played the same sludge noise that we always played, and he sang LA Woman over it, Picture Perfect. And he shaved his head, and he covered his head with Vaseline. He got live crickets from the pet store, and his head was just covered with crickets. And punk rock was totally necessary at the time, and I still like some of it. You know, some of it's great, and I certainly remember it fondly. You know, my punk rock youth continues to this day, except for the youth part and the punk rock. I gotta get a little monetary Amos. You ready? Is that? You just let me know when we can do the thing. Ready? Okay.
It's a god of a small affair to the velvet the mousy hair, but the money is there, you know. And the daddy is told her to go, but her friend is nowhere to be seen, and she walks to a sunken dream, till the secret that clear is you. She's lived it 10 times or more. She can spit in the eyes of fools as they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. Well, it's the freakiest show. Take a look at the love man beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if he'll ever know. Oh, it's in the best-selling show. Is that live on Mars? It's on America's torture route that Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow. And now the workers are struck for fame. Cause women from sale again. See the price in a million hogs. From a pizza to the Norfolk roads. We put tigers out of mouths. For my mother, my dog and hounds. But the film is a crashing ball. Cause I ripped it 10 times or more. It's about to be lit today. As I ask you to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. Oh, it's the freakiest show. Take a look at the low man beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, I wonder if he'll ever know. Oh, is it the best-selling show? Is the life on Mars? Thank you. Jerry Finelli.